Hello, welcome back to Food for Thought. I'm your host, Morgan Storm, and I'm with co-host Firas Duval.
So,
And with me today is the exceptional Alexander Larsson. Now, Alexander, could you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience?
yeah, like you said, my name is Alexander Larsson. I'm 18, and I go to the International School of Helsingborg.
That's a good introduction. I like that. So, Alexander, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
I think it's kind of difficult to explain who you are, but I would try to see it from a perspective of a friend. And I'd probably say most friends would say that I'm quite laid back. I'm not
I like this
too
perspective.
extrovert, but I'm also not completely shy. Don't cower whenever somebody talks to me.
Okay, so like open but reserved?
Yeah, I'm more just like the guy that like you can talk to, kind of comfortable. Like I'm not gonna like scream at your face or something like that. So, I put a lot of focus to my schoolwork. I like to work out. I used to be a competitive swimmer. So yeah, I have that little competitiveness in me in school, trying to get the better grades.
I can see that, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty much of a family guy, even though I have no kids myself.
You like the idea of that?
Yeah, I like the idea of just,
You see that in yourself later.
Yeah, but also just like, I like being in a crowd that I feel very comfortable with. When I mean family guy, I mean like, my own family, also close friends. I like to just chill, lay back, watch a Formula 1 game, or Formula 1 race,
That is probably the most detailed description of a person anyone on this podcast has given about themselves. Yeah, I really like that.
Perhaps a little specific.
That's okay. I mean, this is your episode, Alexander. Now, Alexander is a guest on this episode, but he's also a future co-host. Is that right, Alexander?
Yes.
What are you sort of expecting from that sort of the title of of what do you think comes with that?
I think it comes with a lot of interesting conversations with friends.
Okay.
Even if I know them I've been friends with them for a very long time. New topics come up, and just, knowing more from a friend.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Firas, could you quickly help us go over the list of snacks we've got with us today?
All right.
Because as we know, this podcast, the snacks are very important.
Yeah, so this is very important. Today, we're sipping on some 100% pressed apples. So it's,
It's like a thick apple juice kind of.
Yeah, it's natural, good apple juice.
It's very refreshing.
Yes. We have a bowl of mixed nuts with it's honey and salt, I think.
Yes. Oh my god.
Okay, so I just grabbed the bag and like a lot of crumbs just fell out. I thought it was completely emptied into the bowl. I guess someone.
I thought so too.
That's fine. I'll clean that up later.
So it's honey and salt.
Honey and salt
nut mix.
I bought this nut mix before, and that's why I recommended it when we were at the store buying it. And I was like, damn, these are good, and
they are
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying this far.
Overly priced, but they're pretty good.
I think all nuts.
Yeah,
are
all nuts are expensive.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it is with nut farming that makes it.
Take economics, demand
The demand and supply.
Show us the curvature. Yeah, so we have the nuts, the juice,
and then we have some Smarties.
Yes, Smarties, which are like thicker, bigger M&Ms.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I also got. Oh.
No, Fresh is sponsored.
Oh, we're not sponsored by. I wish.
Yeah.
And I also got this weird polka twist candy peppermint kind of thing.
It's like those licorice sticks.
Yeah, like kind of like Twizzlers, but a bit different, a bit thicker, sturdier. But they're pretty good. I like this one. I've had a small bite, and I know I shouldn't have. So moving on, Alexander, you're you're of bi-nationality, you could say.
Mhm.
You have a bit of a two-headed background.
Mhm. Bilingual as well.
Bilingual as well. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Which countries do you represent?
Well, I've lived here in Sweden my whole entire life. My dad is Swedish. I'm born and raised in Stockholm.
Stockholm, really?
Yeah. And my mom is American, born in Washington State, but has been all over the States, but she'd probably call her home Texas because she's lived there the longest. So, yeah.
So Sweden and the U.S.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the U.S. What is it like being partially that, and also just that place in general?
Well,
I find it fascinating.
being half American comes with a mixed bag. A mixed bag.
I think I say perks.
Of perks, but also more
Drawbacks.
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Oh.
You know.
Describe that. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I never said that I was a representative of my country and their decisions and their, I guess let's say,
yeah, we were just talking about that.
Internal politics, but
we briefly mentioned that we were watching for this episode. Sorry, we were watching the Olympics that are going on, 2021, but they were supposed to be, I guess, 2020 Olympics. You think they're gonna call them 2021 Olympics or 2020?
No, it's just 2020 on them.
2020.
Oh, that's really funny.
They did with the European football as well. 2020.
Okay, so yeah, we're watching the 2020 Olympics, and it's weird to think of these athletes or sports people. You know, they're there for the running, the jumping, and that they're there, but they have to represent their country, which can be weird if your country did something or represents something that maybe you don't agree with, and you're just there to
participate in your sport.
Participate in the Olympics, to do sports, and you have to represent something that you maybe don't agree with at all. And you know, people see you and they're like, "Oh, that's the country." You know, you don't really go by athlete name that much. Like, "Oh, that's the Americans," and that's the whatevers. So that's interesting about how you can.
You're forced to represent something you don't want to.
Sure, in a way you could call it forced, but also like being.
How nationality represents a lot.
It can. Yeah, keep going.
It can also be kind of like, even though it could be controversial things that a country has done, I think a small amount of pride in your country is also, it's 100% okay. Like, you know, I think everybody should be proud where they come from. And, yeah. So.
But up to an extent, do you think that pride could
be
counterproductive sometimes to your own country?
If your country just started the Third World War, then
no, I mean more like you have a certain pride for that country, which is ideally what gives the country a bit more strength in a way. But do you think sometimes that pride can be counterproductive to the country's own strength?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. In the U.S., I can say that a lot of us are very patriotic. I would probably say myself included, even though if I'm half. Never lived there, but I'm still happy to see if the U.S. won a gold medal. But sometimes we can be a little too proud and be then ignorant and just, you know, not be thinking outside of just the U.S. And but I think that can go for almost any country as well. Just
I do believe, yeah.
There's
does that include Sweden? You think?
I would say so. But like also the Swedish mentality I think is a little different. I mean, we're more like, I guess, accepting of like not different kinds of people. That's maybe wrong to say, but like I guess just more used to not being so proud of your country and just more like respecting other countries maybe. And you know, and I'm not saying the U.S. doesn't do that. I mean, there's loads of people that respect other countries, but it's also just the fact that like the U.S. can sometimes be a little too proud.
Okay.
Like what they did with the Canadians when they won the junior championships for the hockey.
What year?
And like they didn't have to have the trash can and put the Canadian flag on it. Like I think that's kind of funny because I'm American, but that's kind of like
if it was the other way around.
Yeah, and it's like I don't like. Never used to be, you know, mean to the Canadians. I mean, we
unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, and it's usually from the
Bit
U.S.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah, but I mean, it, I think there's a balance between being proud of your country and also not being too proud as well.
And being respectful.
Yeah,
And not ignorant.
exactly.
One thing I kind of find interesting with, and it kind of goes with your binationality as well, is in Sweden, I know a lot of people idolize the U.S.
I can see that.
I'm
just wondering what you think about that.
I mean, just I've heard of it. Like my dad, when he was a kid, there's like this huge entire like. It's quite popular to want to go to the States like for vacation. Like when you were done with your studies in high school,
Okay.
many people would go to Spain. They still do that. But like if you were like
To like see the world,
you-
and
yeah,
they
see
go
the
to
world,
the U.S.
they go to the U.S. just because
in Sweden when they were younger.
everything's like
Right.
everything's so big in the U.S. and Sweden is actually like quite good when it comes to music and everything. And if you want to be big in music, you go to the States.
Yeah.
That's where you go. And
It's the same for like film a lot of the time.
exactly. So like
Unless you make like art films for the French cans or some shit.
I mean, if you think about it, all of our Swedish actors, they're not here in Sweden acting. They're in the States.
Yeah.
So
it's a center of media.
But
Center of podcasts. Probably.
We're original.
We are
this
original.
From Sweden.
That's why
Not the U.S.
our color scheme is the Curacao flag. I bet you didn't notice that. So, anything else you want to say about Sweden real quick? Your part in Sweden, maybe.
I really like it here.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought that I wanted to move to the States because I've always been here, in Sweden. But then it wasn't until like actually a couple of months ago I just realized I think I want to like be here for quite a long time. I enjoy everything but the weather. I mean, the weather can be really nice in summer and winter as well, depending on where you live. But it's just I don't know. I like the vibe, I guess. The laid back,
I definitely would say Sweden has a vibe. I hate that vibe, to be honest. And I don't like living here. And I hope I can reflect on this in years to come that, yeah, that did suck. I hope this isn't just like, I mean, my young years where I say, screw this, screw that. I hope that I genuinely stand by what I say. And I know that's maybe not the greatest thing, Alexander. But honestly, I can't stand Sweden in a lot of ways. I'm just so sick of it.
What is it because everything's so...
It's part of that vibe
dull?
you speak about.
You
It's not that dull. It's just like the people and the attitude.
I understand, yeah.
I'm just so sick of it. I can't. I feel like I've had enough. I've had more than my plate full of that. And I need
been here a long time.
I had been here quite a while. And I'm done with it. I was done with it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I feel I'm overextended. Yeah. And if I was an adult, I would have probably moved out already.
Yeah.
Or if I was an adult then. You mentioned the weather a little bit. Honestly, where we are, which we're not going to say our exact location. We're not. But where we are relatively is kind of in the best spot for Sweden. I feel like even if you went more south, because right now we're sometimes in summer, we're absolutely melting. And it's probably worse even if you go to the absolute south of Sweden. And our winters aren't that bad.
Yeah, it's very bearable.
No, well, recently.
Speaking from a Canadian.
It's just
okay,
gray.
true.
I would just say
but
winter's gray.
Yeah, it's gotten warmer each winter, obviously due to climate change.
Although this winter had a lot of snow.
This winter did. Might have been due to coronavirus. Shutting down a lot of things. I don't know if that actually did affect anything. Yeah. Moving on. Back to that, you mentioned the vibe. Here's a vibe that I enjoy about you. You have a grilling vibe. Talk to me about that. Grill culture, what you like to grill.
My dad really likes to grill. And I usually just, watch him. I watched him when he was a little kid.
When I was a little kid.
And I guess I can well, mowing and grilling. Like, it
Ooh.
sounds like a typical dad thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I just find it really satisfying, like, to grill and to mow.
Mm.
And, yeah, not that long ago, we got this pretty big grill. And, yeah, just it's fun to have a little barbecue. And
Mm-hmm.
do
Have
a
you
lot of
ever
stuff.
grilled anything?
Huh?
Have you ever grilled anything?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I had my dad to look
Apprentice.
at me, yeah, a little bit, just because he doesn't want us
Mhm.
to, like, completely...
Pop the gas tank.
Yeah, or just make dark, like, just meat full of charcoal. That's
Mhm.
not very tasty. So,
Okay.
but
What do you like to grill, Alexander?
well, there's a lot, like, we cook a lot of what's oxfilé?
Ooh.
Ox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ox
fillet.
meat.
Yeah, we also like
Fine cut of beef.
we cook
A
we
fine cut of beef.
grill a lot of salmon.
Salmon.
It's delicious.
Really?
You can marinate it and really good. If you
I don't
put
think-
a little honey on it, it's
Ooh.
really good.
We do that with maple syrup.
Yeah, we do a little maple syrup as well.
I don't think I ever had grilled salmon, to be honest. I've smoked salmon and like cooked salmon like we have at school.
Mm.
But I don't, like grilled? No, I don't think I ever had grilled salmon.
It's actually
That's
very
interesting.
good.
I would like to try it at some point.
Tuna steak is also pretty good.
Tuna steak. Oof, too far. I don't like.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of tuna.
You guys not fish guys?
Mm.
Oh, we're talking about fishing.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
That
Let's
was a
go.
good intro.
That should have been on here actually. Talk to us about fishing.
Yeah, fishing. I enjoy fishing. Although I have to say, I'm quite upset this year. I haven't caught anything at all. Not even. I think it's just too warm in the water.
Mm.
But
And fish are social distancing.
yeah, I haven't even caught. I wanted to catch pike, and at this area where I usually fish, you can get them at like the average is like 2.5 meters long.
Damn.
And that's pretty. That's no,
That's
sorry,
huge.
not two.
Feet.
No, that's way. Sorry, no, I meant
You mean
kilo.
feet.
Kilo.
Okay.
2.5
There's
kilo
2
long.
No, not long. I didn't mean long. I meant
Weight.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
Mass.
And it's like that's pretty hefty. I
Mhm.
mean, it's,
2.5. Yes,
That's
that's
like-
solid. That's a solid bird right there.
yeah. But
That's
I
a
haven't
good
caught
dinner.
anything. And pike, they have like razor teeth.
Ooh.
So
Think yeah.
you have to be careful so they don't eat
Take a
your.
picture for your Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. I want to do that. So then I
Mhm.
just like, show off.
Mm-hmm. With some sunglasses or something.
Mm-hmm.
Boats. Yeah.
I live on the countryside, so it's like
Yeah.
not really a point.
It would be cool if you could live in the countryside with like just like a field-sized lake, like exactly square,
Mm.
trees
Mhm.
around. That'd be nice.
It's nice to live by a lake.
I have a sailing certificate. I don't know if you know that about me.
I really want one. You can teach me. We can go sailing together.
Okay, yeah, I could teach you something. It's for a pretty specific boat, but I think it would carry on to very like siblings of that boat type. It's called the Pico Laser.
Sheesh.
It's this one man sort of sail. There's not even really a seat. It's like small, but it can go fast if it's
Mhm.
windy. Like scary fast if it's windy. It can get out of control pretty quick. That was fun to learn. You do it in like a week, like a little course.
Mm.
I have like 3 goals in life.
Mm.
It's like before I die, I want to be able to learn how to sail.
Okay.
I want to get a hunting license,
Okay.
and I want to get a boat. Like not a sailboat, but a boat.
A
motorboat?
Because yeah, like those are like I guess
Do you need a license for a motorboat?
in Sweden.
Okay.
Anything bigger than 12 meters, then you
Actually-
need a license. But 12 meters
That's-
is still quite
Yeah.
So
long.
many is huge.
Yeah, so
For a
you
boat,
is one of the only countries you can do that. So.
that's actually really relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad-
Why a hunting license? Tell me about that. What's the
I don't know.
appeal
Like I
to
told
that?
you guys before when we were walking, the dog that's currently sleeping on my lap.
Very cute dog. You can maybe
Yeah.
hear it snore right now.
Yeah. I like trekking,
Mhm.
and like being on my foot in nature.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I also like this.
Sorry.
I don't know, I like learning about this sounds maybe weird, but the natural, like
The
Like-
natural.
just like
This feeling of like self-independence, maybe
yeah,
being
and
on
just
your
like
own. maybe?
soaking in the fact that you're just a human being,
A part of something.
the part of something, you know, like
Okay.
you're part of the forest,
Mm-hmm.
and with that comes with the wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and also
and then you bring a gun,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I feel like that kind of de-levels the playing field a little bit. Like this is why you use technology to hunt.
a little bit, but also if you look at like life, it's like. Now it sounds a little funny, but the fittest is the survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like this whole entire like alpha thing or whatever, like, you know, you're on top and bottom.
Mhm.
Just I feel like as like human beings, it's natural to like hunt and get food. And I just think that part of it is just I don't know, it sounds peaceful, even though if it's not, maybe for the
Mm-hmm.
animal that gets shot or something. But it's part of the like the realism of like what like not just going to the store and buying meat. It's like
Mhm.
getting meat yourself, and it's like almost like reminding you where you came from,
Mm.
and that part of it, and also just like
Okay.
cutting it open and knowing like the skill of like how to take out the bad guts and everything,
Okay.
and like maybe that sounds weird to a lot of people,
A
for me,
little bit, up to an
maybe.
extent.
but I just find that almost interesting because like how often can you say that you know what the inside of a deer looks like?
I've seen roadkill, my guy. It's not that
Yeah,
impressive.
Okay, but also it's like there are like wild boar and deer.
Hmm.
There's overpopulated.
Oh, that's true.
Like at the same time, you're not just killing because of fun. You're doing it because you're preserving something.
Hmm.
And like for example, in Sweden, you kill roughly a third of the moose population because otherwise it's too overly populated, and they're so dangerous on roads and everything.
As
So-
long as it's like the population is maintained to an extent,
Yeah,
I
but
think-
that's the
and
thing.
it's you have licenses to carry them.
Yeah, and you don't kill like newborns or
Well, they could.
moms with little
On a side note,
doe or whatever.
I think it might be because here in Sweden you can buy like hunting rifles
Mm-hmm.
and you can keep it in your house.
You need a license. And
You do need a license.
expensive and hard to get.
I do wonder though, could you just like maybe rent, like you go to because you have to go to a place anyway to shoot these animals.
Mm-hmm.
At that place, could there be like a lodge of some kind? They rent out these guns anyway, and you also need a license. But then
Mhm.
it reduces the risk of those guns being misused.
Yeah, but I would also probably say the population of hunters in Sweden is so few. Like there, and also the fact that like you constantly need to update your license as well.
Mhm.
It's not like you just go in there, you do it. You know, it's like constant. Like I think it's every 5 to 10 years you have to redo it.
Okay.
So I might be wrong on that. You can fact check me, but that's what I've heard. And they're currently. I don't think you've heard anything from the news of there being misuse of firearms. But I agree with you. There should always be, you know, you should always
Interesting. I
be
think.
cautious of crazy people and firearms.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoken
Coming
like
from
a true American.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, but renting that seems. I don't know if they do that, but I know you can go to different areas like private land, and they almost like they hire you to hunt for them because if wild boar is affecting their animal life or their anything life, because wild boar is just
They
so
just destroy
invasive.
everything,
I've a memory with you were there as well. Do you remember that we were in the woods at Gabriel's house,
Yes,
and it was the middle of the night,
yeah.
and for some reason he's like, let's go on a walk. Let's go on a walk in my forest or the forest I live in, basically. And it was like what? How many people? At least 20 dudes.
Yeah, 20 guys.
boys.
Yeah.
All our age. Ali, kind of people. And we went out to the woods and like almost like a long line of stupid people. And we're stumbling around in the dark, and then all of a sudden, I think what was it?
It was either Gabriel or Jacob or something.
They just started like screaming and running towards us
and saying wild boar, wild
and saying
boar.
wild boar, wild boar. And he is partially right because there probably are wild boar in that
right
forest.
there as well. Cause it's like,
So I don't know. I think he was faking it, but that's just wild boar are like actually really scary.
because they are like in groups of like more than 20. They can be like
They can be in
30.
herds almost. Yeah. I knew someone. We're at a bus stop once in like kind of the middle of nowhere, and they saw a wild boar across the street, but luckily it ignored them.
Didn't get angry.
No, but it could have, and it could have probably killed them. Those guys get angry before they get scared. Really.
They're very aggressive, but they taste good. That's a good thing. So
Good on the grill, huh?
yeah.
You can fish a couple up.
I've tasted some pretty crazy stuff, just like you, Brandon. I know you've tasted pretty crazy stuff.
Like
I've had a bear sausage.
a bear sausage.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty darn good.
Tasty.
I think it's one of the top 3 sausages I've
Where
had.
the hell did you have a bear sausage?
I don't know. I think it was my grandpa, and he found it at a local market somewhere. And then, I've had
What are the weird meats?
frog leg,
Frog
alligator.
leg. Alligator. Oh, what does alligator taste like? I would be really curious.
Does it taste like fishy?
No, it tastes more chickeny and porkish than fishy.
It's like a pink meat.
Yeah, it's a pink meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's actually not so much fat on it. It's,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like lean. Yeah, they don't.
It was like
really
the
fatty.
tail, so I think that's
Okay.
pretty. I mean, they swim with the tail, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, imagine it being a pretty. Was it like tough?
it was yeah. It was
Yeah, I
kinda tough.
imagine it's a lot of muscle there. Those guys are buff creatures.
They run fast.
They run sharp.
they're-
Like was it like 40
Kilometers?
I think it was miles
Whoa.
though. Miles per hour.
40 miles an hour. That's really
No,
fast.
maybe not. I don't know. They were fast. They can almost outrun you depending on how fit you are.
I think they can. I
I
mean,
think sometimes.
I don't think
That's
that-
pretty freaky.
Also depending on the alligator and stuff. Usually if they run towards you, they just want to scare you away rather than actually chase you the whole time. They're not really chasing predators. They're kind of more ambush
Sneak
predators.
up.
I've had. I think the weirdest meat I've had is probably kangaroo meat. I had that once. Very chewy, very bouncy, which makes sense because they jump. I used to think, oh, that's kind of sad eating kangaroo meat, but they're kind of rat bastards. Those kangaroos. They're violent. They just kind of like messing with people. So I don't feel too bad about that. What about you, co-host Firas?
If I've had any weird meat,
Yeah, like weird, I guess meat.
I might have had something in Egypt made with like camel milk. But I can't really remember. I mean, in Canada, they just sell ground horse at the supermarket. So we used to use that sometimes instead of beef. It was more expensive, but it's a leaner and healthier meat.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't had any like really weird meats. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of more seafood than
You
meat.
eating my Mentos, dude? Does that mean you eating my Smarties?
Dude, I'm
Bad.
hungry.
I love you too.
Yeah, I've had like, I don't know if you guys have had oysters.
I've had oysters. I didn't like
They're
them.
so bad. It's so
Yeah.
gross. I don't know.
I'm surprised that they are still like
But everyone loves oysters in Canada.
around. Crab's pretty good.
Yeah, crab's good.
Not
I've had
Crab and
swordfish.
lobster. Swordfish.
swordfish.
And that's pretty
Really?
good. It's. I mean, I don't know how big you guys are on fish.
Yeah.
I love fish. a lot.
Okay. Very Swedish of you.
Yeah, but it's pretty darn good. Then there's also I've had like hair, like bunny, like a big
Okay.
hair.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was like,
Bunny is pretty. I
tasted
like
good.
rabbit meat.
but it was like
You
I
had
was
rabbit
surprised how
meat?
it's gonna taste like. It was like
It's kind of sad eating rabbits. So
yeah, but there's like huge rabbits, and it's like
yeah, wild like hair. Yeah, hares and rabbits. That they're incredibly actually different on the inside.
Really?
Like it's almost like not quite, but it's almost pure coincidence that they look so much like each other.
Okay.
They're actually very distantly related,
Huh.
like more than you'd think.
Hmm.
Apparently, such interesting. Alexander, you live in the middle of nowhere.
not
To be
really.
honest. You live kind of in the middle of nowhere.
I live 3 minutes away from our region's biggest mall center. I mean,
three minutes away by car,
Yeah, and like
but that's
10
like
minutes away
half
by bike.
an hour away by walking.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It takes me 30 minutes to Ellen's house.
But I think it's more coincidence that the shopping center happens to be that close. I think it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. You're in this town, barely even a town. It's
not a town.
it was a neighborhood
Yeah,
almost.
literally.
A neighborhood surrounded by fields
And a church.
and a church. Not a single grocery store,
No.
but a cafe.
No?
Yeah, I think I saw a cafe there. Like
I've never seen a cafe there.
it was like some dude's house. I think like it was inbuilt into the house.
Oh, maybe.
I made a cafe.
And a hardware store.
And a hardware store.
Yeah, and a transportation.
But not a single goddamn grocery store.
Not even like a corner store or anything.
No.
Nothing.
If you need
And
milk,
that's
you gotta
incredible.
go.
Yeah. But there's the hunting store. Right? So
Oh.
convenient for me once I get my.
Yeah,
hunting.
but do you live near a forest? No, you're surrounded by fields of.
Yeah.
What grows in those fields, Alexander?
Well, in the back of our backyard, our neighbor who's a farmer, he grows asparagus.
Asparagus. Ooh.
Yeah, and it grows every 3 years.
Wow.
So,
Wow. What?
Yeah, and then
Does it smell strong?
No, it doesn't smell strong. It's just there.
Okay.
It's quite big. Like
Yeah.
it's quite tall, but
It's interesting.
yeah, we see them sometimes go there with their little tractor and picking them up. But the other fields, it's just it's a lot of what is it called? Canola oil or canola, and wheat, rye, and I think there's some like lettuce or something, cabbage. But that's further back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. I think we have a motel.
You have a motel?
Ooh. Yeah, that's something that we have.
Oh, but you don't have a single grocery store or corner.
If you're hungry, if you want some snacks,
No, if
Just
you
go
want
any
for
time of day.
a brunch or something.
Yeah, you kind of.
Apparently
You gotta
it's
suck
highly
it.
rated. It looks crap, or it looks bad, but
Oh, the
it's
motel.
highly rated. It's like a 4-star motel. Which is
Damn.
I mean, you've probably never been there.
no. Actually,
Yeah,
no.
but it's a small. Originally my idea for recording this podcast, which would probably have been like next week.
Mhm.
It would have been me and Firas would go bike to place.
Yeah.
Cut that out. And we would sit by that park there. You have a park by like a
a
pond.
little playground, yeah.
Yeah, that
And-
would be a good area.
Yeah.
I remember we
would record it there.
me,
it was a
Morgan,
nice
and
day.
Ellen were waiting for you for a very long time once,
Oh yeah.
and you were just sleeping.
Oh yeah.
We were
Oh
there
my
in this
gosh.
middle of nowhere town,
Yeah.
waiting
the
for him,
playground, yeah.
and he was sleeping. We went. He doesn't live in the same town as us basically, and we went there, and he was sleeping.
I remember that.
We
And
can't-
then Ellen knocked on the door, and I came out, and I was so gone. I was so surprised that she was there. Like,
But it wasn't like. Did we even like bother like messing? Like,
Yeah,
I think
we
we
you
tried.
guys, you guys
No.
called me a lot.
I think we tried to, but we went there before we got confirmation of like him
Did
actually.
we?
Like
Oh, maybe.
he's like, oh, he's not answering. Let's go there anyway.
Or maybe he said he'd come out before, and then
Yeah, I
he
think
fell
that was
asleep
what
or
it was.
something.
I had like a whole entire. I think I had to mow the yard the whole entire day, and it was so
Yard.
hot that day,
Oh,
and I just died. Like
It was
on the
very
sofa.
warm. I think I remember the slide, the metal slide being pretty warm.
yeah,
It's a weird memory to have, but
Yeah,
that was funny.
yeah. Just like, hello guys.
What's happening? Firas, you want to take over this topic?
Yeah, sure. So this is something that me and Alexander have in common.
Mhm.
In Sweden, it's not mandatory service, but it's like partially mandatory, I guess they call it.
Sort of.
It's conscription.
Mhm.
I mean,
They
they
recruit.
draft you.
Yeah, they send a letter to everyone who's turning 18 that year. Every Swedish citizen who's turning 18, and they select those that they would like to have in the army.
Mhm.
And Alexander happens to be one of those, and he's been accepted.
Yeah.
I unfortunately am not Swedish, or not unfortunately, but I am not Swedish.
Soon.
Yeah, soon I might get the Swedish. I will get the Swedish citizenship, and dog's being a little funny.
Keep going.
So yeah, I'm also looking forward to eventually joining the military, like Alexander. Although he's gonna get to do it sooner than I will.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell us about how you feel about that, and if you're excited, and what your thoughts are, because I know we're both looking forward to it.
Mhm. I'm quite excited. I used to be a little like nervous about it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because of like the physical or mental capabilities you need to like be to get in,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more the fact that like I was nervous about. It comes back to this whole bilingual thing. I'm
Mhm.
more fluent in English and Swedish, even though if I'm completely fluent in both.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that like knowing the small parts of like a tent, and then a sergeant just screaming at me because I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
That's like the part where I'm a little scared because I don't like to be embarrassed in front of like a whole entire crowd.
Yeah.
But besides that part, I was just thinking, it's all part of learning. Like, I mean, everybody else is gonna be clueless when they get in, and, like no different than I am.
Yeah.
And I think it comes with a lot of good learning outcomes. And I don't know. I just think my dad did it when he was my age, and he said it was one of the best things that he's ever done.
Yeah.
And he's super thankful for it. And
That's cool.
Like, I'll take my dad's advice, and
Yeah. So,
but it could have changed a lot. So.
It could.
Yeah, that's true.
Times have changed. But I think, I want to get into the Marines. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you with your swimming background. Yeah,
exactly.
That's pretty cool.
But
I think you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I find that it's we're fortunate, me and Alexander, to be able to have that as an option for us, because a lot of people are not fit for the military, I think, and I think that us being, in shape and willing to do it and something that we'd like to do, I think I feel very fortunate. I feel like it's a good opportunity for me to do something that kind of guides me in a way. Do you feel the same kind of?
I feel the same. I feel like it's like you're doing something meaningful. Like you're just like, it's something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And you're gonna like take those skills with you for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah. And like
you're also serving something then just besides yourself. You're serving for your country.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not a matter of just being patriotic. It's just it feels like doing your service. As a
doing your
citizen.
part.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, for me, it's like the adult world seems quite scary, right? Because, like, for example, right. Morgan, right? You just gotta jump straight into it. Kind of.
Like once you're done with high school.
Like once you're done with high school.
Oh yeah,
right.
I'm kind of
But we could like go to the army.
And I could probably go to the army if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to because I want to get out of here. I mentioned I don't want to stay in Sweden. I want to get out of here.
Yeah. But and I think it's like a softer landing into the adult world because you're still kind of guided somehow.
Yeah.
Yes, but perhaps a harder landing in other aspects.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I think I'm quite competent, but I feel like there's some areas where I'm like lacking a little bit, and totally not cooking or something like that. But I feel like with the military, it will like allow myself to be even more competent.
Yeah, so to be like a more rounded person.
Exactly. So when I come into the workforce or the go to like university, it's like it's like a complete improved version of myself.
That's good.
That's what I'm.
And do you know anything about like Swedish military's like goals and stuff, and any of what's going on?
I know a little bit.
Yeah.
I know that they want to expand their military funding a little bit.
Yeah.
Because threat of neighboring areas.
Yeah.
But also the fact that we just need to update the military. So that's why there's been this. That's why
there's this
a lot of talk.
Ever since the Berlin Wall fell, there's been a big slack in the military budget around Europe, and now I think the world's tension in the world is.
They were part of NATO as well. So but
I think tension in the world is kind of rising again, and Sweden's realizing that it's gotta start moving somewhere. And
also just. Well, it depends on what kind of motives you have as a country, but investing in your military is usually a good thing for your economic system.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's like kind of
provide people with more jobs and opportunities.
A bit like Formula One, for example. Yeah. Like it's where a lot of the high technology is developed, and eventually that all trickles down into everyday life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe not high tech guns, but like
or the jet.
Yeah, but like some of that technology can eventually be consumer friendly, and I think that's where it's developed.
VR drones, bro. With your
Mhm.
headset on, you can start
dude.
shooting at your neighbor. I saw these super cool. It was like a while ago, like on YouTube, like these the American pilots had these like these super good helmets
Yeah.
with cameras that let you basically see through the plane.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Those
these
helmets are like
Yeah,
$400,000.
they're incredibly expensive. They have to be tailored to you very specifically. I think once you're done, I think they probably like repurpose. They can take the technology out, but
Mhm.
the helmet, like they have to make
The
it perfect to your
casing,
head. And you can, there's cameras on the outside of these planes, and you can like look through
That
the
is
planes
so
basically
cool.
to basically get almost a full view.
Just imagine being like a passenger in a plane, just seeing everything. Oh, there's a bird right there.
Yeah.
Playing that complete out of glass or something.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That would be sick.
And very scary.
Yeah. So I think. Let me check the time. We have.
Could I pose a question?
You could absolutely. We're 41 minutes in, so we're gonna start wrapping this up. But
Alright.
yeah, you can-
I was just saying, Firas, are you excited for the, in Sweden you call it mönstring? It's like the qualification to go into the military, or the trials.
Yeah.
And do you think you'll pass?
I mean, I think the biggest obstacle for me is it being in Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've only been in Sweden for 2 years.
You've done the driver's, or the...
I have done my driver's test in Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
I have my driver's license.
And I think, I'm pretty confident in my abilities that right now, I think I would be able to pass it, but it would be a bit rough, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I've been slacking, kind of. But throughout the next couple of years, I'm planning on, getting the grind going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited for it just to, like, see where I'm at, how I compare to others. Because I'm shorter than most people. I'm smaller than most people. So for me, it feels good to know that doesn't hinder me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just as good as anyone else, even though I'm smaller.
Could you tell the audience exactly how small you are?
Yeah, I could. I'm 163 centimeters.
How much is that in feet for our American viewers? 163 centimeters.
Yeah, that's like 5'4", kind of. Almost 5'4".
163 centimeters.
Do it into inches. Yeah.
Feet. He is 5'3" actually.
That's not 5'3". That's 5.3, which is different because in 1 foot there's 12 inches, right? So that's around 5'4".
Yeah.
I'm making it sound better, but I'm about 5'4", and I only weigh like 55 kilos.
What a baby.
So yeah, I'm pretty small, but it makes me feel better about myself.
I've seen you at the gym.
Yeah.
You're
I pull my weight,
Yeah.
and it feels good. It feels good to know that I'm just as competent as anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big aspect of me getting into the military. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like doing physical activity, so I think the tests are going to be kind of fun, even though they'll be tiring. I don't know if you've done them.
I did one of the tests. I was
Yeah.
lucky. I didn't have to do the conditioning test.
Okay.
But the strength test was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's just a deadlift, basically.
Okay. Which is something I've never done. So.
Okay. But it's not that bad.
You live and you
Okay.
learn.
Yeah.
But then, But it's not that. It's just mainly talking to psychologists and having doctor's appointments and nurse's
That
appointments.
seems less fun.
It's just test your eyesight, hearing, and
Okay.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
Hopefully I'm not like legally blind or something. I'll be good. Yeah. All right.
I like that. So we are wrapping this up a little bit. Moving on to really lighthearted topics. What are you currently focused on, Mike?
that's lighthearted. Well, it
That is
lighthearted.
Yeah, so
Um,
what you doing
I
right now?
don't know,
What's your energy going towards?
I want to be a stoic.
Stoic.
Yes.
Okay.
Not realized, but I want to
Mhm.
have basically fully control over myself. You know,
Okay.
I want to
Like your own,
find the zen within me.
your own
No, I'm
destiny.
joking. No,
your own destiny or some shit.
You know,
Find your own path.
not in an ego way, just like being disciplined.
Discipline.
Like for myself, like
Sounds
there's-
kinky.
there's I don't know. I want to stop procrastinating. Just be, I guess.
That's difficult.
No, but I just want to have like total control over myself.
Okay.
So like
That's
that
the
could
thing.
be like controlling my sweet tooth. Like just completely.
Yeah, so like self-control.
Yeah, and just,
okay.
exactly, and just
More doing what you're thinking rather than doing what you want.
and waking up early. Yeah, exactly. Just being, like you said.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a noble goal. I think that's something a lot of people should, I think, needs to learn.
Difficult though.
It can be difficult. Not chubby. With love, of course. Completely random. What is something more people should know about? Or something that hasn't been getting
About me.
No, not necessarily.
Oh,
it
more
can
people
be
know about.
something that you know that more people should know, whether it's due to lack of publicity
Bear
or
sausages, hella tasty.
Yeah,
that could be.
that's true. That's true.
Is that what you
Bear
want?
sausages are pretty good, but
Not a lot of people
something
know that.
I want to know, or something
something
that
that
I want other people to know that I know.
Yeah, that you think is important for other people.
Or if you don't know it, but you want more people to know it, and you want to know it as well.
What? Sure.
Sure.
It's not really the question, but
I wish I knew this. I wish
We'll
everyone
keep
knew
it
this.
simple with bear sausages are good.
bear sausages are good. I've heard, and now more people know about that.
Yeah.
Which one I do?
Just quickly, what hobbies have you been partaking in?
Well, I've been going to the gym
Mm.
quite a lot.
Mm.
I don't know if this counts as a hobby, but
It could.
biking with friends.
Yeah.
Definitely a hobby.
I like to go on walks sometimes. That sounds boring.
Yeah.
But I like to get in my around
Get some
10,000
podcasts
steps.
going.
Yeah. Hobbies. I used to be really into reading, but it's almost like I have to get myself into
I see. Into like the mood.
Yeah, and just like get it to be a habit.
Mm.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes because you're just distracted with like life and other things.
Yeah. If I had the time,
it's like it's difficult because like even my mom tells me to stop being a nerd and just go outside, you know. So it's like difficult to like try to read because, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much it right now.
Okay.
And fish when I have the time to do so.
Yes. Fishing man.
Here's a kind of interesting one. What's something you thought you would not succeed in, but then you did? Something you doubted yourself in, but then you did. Could be recent. Could be. Oh, I thought I was gonna make some terrible burnt pasta, but I boiled that baby right.
I guess when I was really tiny, not really tiny. I was like 6, 7.
Okay.
I had these like not 6, 7. I'd probably say 8. I had like these like beginners like swim racing competitions.
Okay.
And for some reason, I was really like scared of like the public like looking at you. And as you're a swimmer, you have to get out on the pole.
And you're like half naked.
Yeah, and you have to go in, and it's like everybody sees because everybody's quiet for you to say, "Are you ready? Go!" In the beat.
Yeah.
And I used to be like really like scared and like insecure about that.
Okay.
And also like that I was gonna when somebody like to like jump the start. I was always nervous because I still have this mentality that like I almost want to like know everything before I do it, like know what like how things are gonna play out. Because I'm afraid if there's gonna be a mistake or something goes wrong, then you're kind of like this panic stage. So when I was little, I used to always think like I used to like not swim as fast as I could when I was little because I was just so scared.
I see.
But then eventually I got over it because I got
mental
inspired.
And physical training.
Yeah, inspired by my parents to, what's the worst that could happen, and I just made a bigger deal out of it. But then it just, I just got over it.
You pulled yourself together.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did pretty well at swimming. I was never the best, but I was pretty decent.
Do you think there's like a moral to that? Maybe a lesson.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the self-determination that came from it as well. Just the fact that swimming can be quite individual, an individual sport, and if you yourself have the motivation to like go through something, even though if you know it's not something that you don't necessarily like in that specific like time moment, and you get past that, I don't know, you feel proud of yourself that you did it. So, yeah, and I think that carried over to schoolwork and everything else, the way I think.
Okay, I like that. I guess last question then. This is kind of a question I've been asking everyone at the end of the podcast. What's the number one takeaway you want the audience to absorb from what we've all discussed now?
Okay.
What's something that
So
you
want
really
me to sum it up a little bit?
Yeah, sure. If that's
Yeah.
how you want to see
Okay.
it, just something that of this. What's something you want to make sure they understand, hear about?
Well,
It could be anything.
I think the audience can take away
Mhm.
what the audience can take away is that, you know, you don't need to take life always so completely seriously.
Okay.
You should take it in a moderate amount. You don't have to always be, for example, like I just said, how I want to be a stoic and be completely disciplined.
Mm.
At the same time, I also think it's always good to like lay back and rest a little bit. And I think you need to take everything in proportions, and you, just live life the way you want to live life, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else and yourself.
I like that little end bit.
Boom.
Just like that.
Firas, do you have any last things you want to wrap up about this episode? Good co-host,
I'm
right?
looking forward to
The next episode.
to doing more episodes altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of you, I have more episodes planned to be co-hosts on, and that's all in due time.
Yes.
I really like this podcast. I wouldn't mind doing another one.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. Thank you so much, Alexander, for being on our podcast today, and in the future. You too, Firas. You were a wonderful co-host. And I really enjoyed the conversation we had. I think it was probably one of the more deeper, or like you really went into depth with the questions, and I appreciate that. A lot of people were like, I don't know, but I feel like you. No offense, Firas, I love you. I feel like you really took the question and you turned it into steps. And
They're good questions. So
I tried. Thank you. So that'll wrap up the episode. Like and subscribe. Please leave a comment about your favorite or least favorite part of the episode. And thank you and goodbye.